Hello, my friends. Good morning. How are you? How are ya? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio, here to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. I will tell you who's coming up on the show here in just a little bit. How are you this morning, this cold Wednesday morning? And it's been cold, and it's going to be cold because it's wintertime here in Michigan. And, it's not a good old fashioned Michigan winter, but it's pretty chilly. And we're making some ice. Cliff, good morning, buddy. How are you? Always a pleasure to have you along with us, as well as my good friend Tim Binns. Tim, the keeper of all knowledge. And I say that in a positive way, Tim, keeper of all knowledge. Too much headroom. Remember the old thing, max headroom? Let me jump over to Facebook and see how that looks as far as headroom. And it looks like I use a platform called StreamYard. That looks pretty good. Got a little bit of not quite. I need a little bit bigger graphic behind me to cover the whole screen. Hey, Paul, good morning. How are you? Thank you for joining me on this edition of Behind the Mic. I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio, as you know, to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. It's a good show coming up. I think they're all good shows, right? I wouldn't put a show on the air that I didn't think was a good show. Jen laughed. Jen, the real keeper of all knowledge. Believe me, Jen, I know. Hey, Uncle Johnny, I was going to text. Good morning, Uncle Johnny. I was going to text you this morning. Are you guys going to Grand Rapids today? I was thinking about that when I woke up first thing this morning, and then my mind took off in another direction. But I think you guys are going to Grand Rapids today. So good luck to you. Jerry, how are things in Algonac? Greg Plowman, my good friend, how are you, buddy? Craig, tickets for the Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction go on sale Monday. I will have details posted on my Facebook page. There will be a QR code there you can scan and go directly to the website to get those tickets. They're $100 a piece, just like they have been for the last couple of years, or at least last year. The event is Saturday, March 1st at the Great Hall in Midland. Bruce, good morning. How are you? Vaughn is going back to for a Canada bear hunt again this year. I think I will be up there in the middle of August to hunt with Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters. Well, Jen, you are more than welcome, my friend. Robert, how are you? Can I call you Bob, or is it Robert? Uncle Johnny, you going to Grand Rapids today? Or is that later in the week? Dave Mason. You remember Dave from the 70s? You and me, we just disagree. Different Dave. Anyway, Dave, good morning. How are you? I was in the studio here last Wednesday morning to do a Wednesday night live. But then last Wednesday night, I was at the Suburban Collection Showplace to do Wednesday Night Live with Mr. Angler Quest Brad Dupuis from the fishing show. I had a chance to show you the 2025 lineup of Angler Quest side by side. Robert, got you, Robert. Thank you. Beverly, good morning. How are you? Jim, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining me. Robert, prayers for the fireman hit on I-75 this weekend near Standish. Indeed, Robert, but I did not know anything about it. I make a point of not watching the news. And yes, it does show our age. I love bear hunting, Vaughn. Absolutely love it. 1:00. So, Johnny, good luck to you, buddy. Will you see our other brother-in-law and sister-in-law while you are over there? If so, say hello. Looks like you've got a good day to drive. So good luck on your appointment, my friend. My brother. Ed, good morning. How are you? And say hi to Aunt Debbie for me. Doug Ward, Captain Doug, got to say, love the new Angler Quest. Great improvements and changes. Hey, Doug, will you be joining us for our Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction Saturday, March 1st? Let me know, Doug, if you are interested in doing a donation, although you have been very generous to the golf outing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Doug has already agreed to offer a trip for the second annual Mikey Ree Outdoors charity golf outing, and he's not got a trip this year, so he's going to join us in person. That is Friday, July 25th at the West Branch Country Club. Already looking forward to that. Not being an ice fisherman, I'm already looking forward to springtime. I'm looking forward to turkey hunting, looking forward to Saginaw Bay walleye on the new Angler Quest. I'm looking forward to spring too. My grandson Trent has not turkey hunted before, and I am going to introduce him to turkey hunting this spring. I'm really looking forward to that. Jim, good morning. How are you? So some dates to keep in mind here. Next Friday, the 24th, they will announce the Pure Michigan Hunt winners. I am one of them. So hopefully 2 of you are also winners. They give 3 winners every year, and I win this year. Now, I don't know that officially. I don't know that for a fact, but I am one of the winners of the Pure Michigan Hunt this year. Tyler, got turkeys on the brain yourself. I get it. Greg, good morning. How are you? Thank you, Craig. Appreciate that. They were there last year, weren't they? Doug, you were there last year, weren't you? I think so. The other date to remember is Monday, this Monday coming up, the 20th. Tickets for our Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction go on sale. We have a special guest this year. His name is Art Lewis. He saunters over here like airtime is free. Oh, it is free. I forget about
where
that.
the big light is you had last time.
Well, I want these spotlights here in the studio to work again, but that switch is broken. Charlie put in a request, but that's like waiting for the second coming of Christ, I think, because to get that fixed.
Yeah, maybe even later.
Art, look forward to seeing you there.
I look forward to being there.
You've been at the last 3 events? 2 events?
2 at least.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
It's a good event, isn't it?
But, don't get your hopes up for winning all the guns, folks, because I'll have a couple of them.
Because just like I win Pure
like
Michigan,
win.
he wins
Exactly.
guns. Well, good luck to you again this year,
right,
Arthur. All right. They did attend last year. Excellent. Corey, good morning, buddy. How are you? Corey, good luck on the Michigan Walleye Trail this summer. They did attend. Oh, excellent. Doug is also one of the winners. So far we've got, I am one of the winners of the Pure Michigan Hunt. Captain Doug Ward is another winner of the Pure Michigan Hunt. So that means that there is one more. Doug Ward, I was there last year at the Trinity Banquet. We upped the trip from 4 to 6 people. The bid kept going up. Fun stuff for a great cause. Yes, it is a great cause. We're raising money for our church and school, Trinity Monitor. Oh, hold on. Wait, Corey's the 3rd winner. Okay, so we got our winners right there. Mad Jack, good morning, buddy. How are you? Let me tell you how that Trinity dinner started. It's interesting because this is our 8th annual dinner. This whole concept came up. I was doing a lot. I was emceeing and talking at a lot of different church wild game fundraisers across the state. And I got thinking, and I love that. I don't have any problem with that at all. But I'm thinking, why am I going all over the state to do these fundraisers and raise money for other churches? And we weren't doing anything at Trinity, my church. So at a pastor's appreciation dinner at Dixie Dave's restaurant 8 years ago, we got talking about it. And it grew from there. Honestly, the conversation started at Dixie Dave's 8 years ago. Look what it's grown into. Emil says, Pure Michigan Hunt, you keep pronouncing my name wrong. Emil Rousseau of the Lumberjack Restaurant, the Forward Corporation Lumberjack Restaurant. Forward Corporation celebrating 100 years this year. We will do another Wednesday night live at the Lumberjack. Also, Emil is on the board of the West Branch Visitors Bureau, a part of the state that I absolutely love. Our golf outing, in fact, is in West Branch. I've partnered up with those folks this year and very happy to do so. When you're looking at your vacation plans and your getaway plans, check out West Branch. Close to home, but like a million miles away. Craig says, I'll be the third winner. So now we've got four of us who say we have all won, and there's only picking three winners. They will draw that on the 24th. Okay, let me get to my list here before I run out of time and tell you who's coming up on the show this week. We are right in the heart of winter right now, but it reminded me of the blizzard of 78. Now, a lot of you weren't even around for the blizzard of 78, but it was the real deal. Tim says, anytime you can support Christian schools, do it. Amen to that, brother. John Lemkuhl, good morning from St. Louis. How are you? The blizzard of 78 was the real deal. I always talk about when I was a kid forever ago that we had real winters. That blizzard of 78 was real. I was actually at Ferris there. I was a junior at Ferris in 78, or a sophomore, junior. And there were kids jumping out of the second floor windows of the dorms into the snowdrifts. 131, US 131, which used to run right through the campus. It was the only way to get north and south at the time. The freeway wasn't built, was closed. We were walking down 131, dragging sleds to get to the party store to get beer. Doug Ward remembers. Jim remembers. John remembers. The blizzard of 78, which, can you believe, was 47 years ago now? Now that was a winter. That was a blizzard. I hope I never see anything like that again. The cold temperatures, though, are wonderful for ice fishermen. Greg says he was in the Yup in 78. We went over a month without a temp ever getting above zero. I'm telling you, that was a good old-fashioned Michigan winter. But these cold temps this winter are great for ice fishermen. I'm seeing a lot of pictures of ice fishermen. Pike spearing, I love seeing. If you've got video of pike spearing, please send it to me. Corey says he remembers he was 7. John said he had to milk 24 cows by hand. Hey, dairy farmers are the hardest working people in the world because you never get a break. Those cows have to be milked twice a day, every day, and they don't care what day it is. They don't care what the weather's like. They don't care what the holiday is. I grew up around dairy farmers. Hard-working group. Stuff all over my shirt. I apologize. So the ice fishermen are loving this. I talked about January 20th. Doug says Pops was a young man back then. Tim says I was 10. Remember not going to church. Didn't know what to do on Sunday. Bunch of old people on here this morning. The 24th Pure Michigan Hunt winners will be drawn. I am one of them. Let me tell you who's coming up on this week's show. It's kind of a wide-ranging group this morning. First, Jay Wojderski, who is from the, and I always have a problem with, I want to say Wolderski, but it's Wojderski. He is the chairman of the Black Lake chapter of Sturgeon for Tomorrow. Their Sturgeon Shivaree is coming up in a couple of weeks, and it looks like they will actually have ice. My question to him, and I know the answer, but I play devil's advocate here. If Sturgeon for Tomorrow is designed to preserve and protect sturgeon, Why do we have a sturgeon chivalry where they actually go out and harvest fish? They spear sturgeon. Now, I get it, but it's an interesting question. Then Carl Yider of the Yider Insurance Group answers the question every year: if you take your vehicle on the ice, are you covered by insurance? At the end of the first hour, the airborne angler, Marty Saliga, joins me. You're right, Tim. Tim says, if you win, people will say it's rigged. If I win, I don't care what people say. Kevin, good morning, buddy. How are you? Kevin, the course manager at the West Branch Country Club, where we will be for the second annual Mike Avery Outdoors Charity Golf Outing. Beautiful West Branch. Tommy, good morning. How are you? Craig was a senior in high school. So I've got you by about 3 years, Craig. Snow days, basketball practice was at 10 a.m. and we rode snow machines to school. Yep. In the second hour, a guy I've never talked to before, but I actually stumbled onto his videos on YouTube. His name is Lewis Good. Louis Wildlife Cameras on YouTube. The guy has wildlife cameras set up, game cameras, trail cameras set up across the state. And you should see the video he's captured. Wolves, bears, deer, coyotes, elk, moose. Pretty cool. I'll talk to him about that. And if I get to the show without going to sleep, Tyler Mihai from MUCC joins me after that. Then Sergeant Mike Mashar answers this week's Ask Avery question. And this goes back to a post I had on the Facebook page a few weeks ago from my friend Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. Sent me video. He was in the plow truck and he found a white-tailed doe on the side of the road that had been partially eaten alive by coyotes. Now, being in a county plow truck, Johnny couldn't have a gun, so he couldn't end the suffering of that animal. But a driver came along who had a gun and shot the doe and put her down and ended her suffering. But the question is that actually legal? Can anybody do that other than a law enforcement officer? Sergeant Mike Mashar of the DNR will answer that question for us. Yes, Tim, he is. Tim says, is he the guy that had that monster moose trail camera video a month ago? Yes, that's him. Lewis Good. I saw that video and said we got to get him on the show, and he's on with me this week. In our third hour, Chris Craner, and you've seen Chris's Bobcat pictures here on my Facebook page. He will join us to talk about northern Michigan bobcat hunting. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. If you heard the show last week, you know that Dave is now cooking 3 days a week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday at a place in Standish. What's it called? Help me out. But Dave is now basically living up by Standish. I think he sold his Birch Run place. He's bored. He couldn't stand retirement. He got very bored. And so now he's cooking Thursday, Friday, Saturday at this bar/restaurant in West Branch. But what is it called? I don't know. He told me, but I hadn't heard it before, so I don't know. Oh, apply for your spring turkey license today. Thank you. The DNR just sent me a reminder. January is the month to apply. I'll add that to my list. If you are looking for one of the limited quota hunts, January is the month to apply for a springtime turkey permit. Add it to my list. Apply now. However, if you're like me, and if you go for a Southern Michigan private land hunt, which is ZZ, Wheelers doesn't sound right, Craig. Doesn't sound right. Did Wheelers change the name of the restaurant, maybe? Is he serving any of his old menu? Yes, some of his old specials he is. Johnny Bowler, I was just talking about you. Johnny, that video you sent me of the doe that got attacked and partially eaten by the coyotes. The question is, can anybody come along and put that deer out of her misery, or only a law enforcement officer? I mean, I would do it, and I'm not a law enforcement officer. If I was there and I saw that doe, I would put her down. But would I be legal to do so? And then the question becomes, if illegal, the officer who responds to the call, if any, would they bother me with it, or would they say, look at you, you know, there is the technicality of the law, and then there's just being a good person, right? Harry, good morning. How are you? Bill, same back at you. Brandon says the canals of Lake St. Clair are hot for perch, crappie, bluegill, sunfish, red ear sunfish, plentiful, limits being caught easily. Thank you for that, Cap.
30 seconds.
30 seconds?
Yep.
Charlie, you are such a slave driver. All right, I'm going to have to change my focus from behind the mic to recording this week's show. I will be back tonight, 7 o'clock, for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Tonight, I'll be back in the home office. Put it down. Thank you, Johnny.
5, 2,
1, blast off. They know me. I sent pictures, video. I got told to put it down. And that's what I'm saying, Johnny. Human nature and a CO who's not being overly zealous would say, do the right thing, put her down, put her out of her misery. You get a young person, young officer, who's still trying to make a name for themselves and prove themselves, and still they might say, hey, don't do it. All right, my friends, thanks for joining me on Behind the Mic. You can stick around and hear me talk about many of the same things I have here on the show. I'll see you tonight. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 stations across this great state of Michigan, this great cold state of Michigan, and some parts of the state, snowy state of Michigan. But it is wintertime, and we are definitely right in the heart of winter here now. Maybe you're happy about that. Maybe you're not happy about that. If you are unhappy, are you unhappy enough to say, I've had it and I'm going to Florida? Or pick your southern state. I find occasional southern getaways to be nice and fun and relaxing. Would I want to live in Florida? Absolutely not. There is not another state that I would want to call home. And I've seen a bunch of them. And many of them are beautiful in their own way, and they have a lot to offer, folks who love the outdoors. But is it someplace that I would want to live? Nope. I'm a fanboy from Michigan. I admit it. I grew up in this state. I love this state. I've spent my career in this state. I promote this state. And I think I'm probably going to die in this state. I don't know when that is. I don't think it's right away. But if it is, it is. Speaking of winter, though, I keep thinking about, the winters on the west side of the state when I was a kid growing up. And I just feel like those were good old-fashioned Michigan winters. And for some reason, I saw some video the other day of the blizzard of 78. Now, a lot of you aren't even going to remember or know anything about the blizzard of 78. But I'm telling you what, that blizzard of 78, that was the real deal. I was sophomore or junior at Ferris at the time. They closed school down for days. We had so much snow that I remember kids jumping out of the second-story windows of the dorms into, 10-foot snowdrifts? 131, US 131 that ran through the campus, and it was the only north-south route at that time. The freeway wasn't built yet, so that was a big deal. It was closed down, and that was a big deal. 131 was closed down. There was no traffic on it. So what did we do? Well, school's closed for 3 days. We had to get to the supply store, the party store. We had to pick up supplies. So we dragged a sled down 131 to the party store to get stocked up for the blizzard of 78. I mean, that was wintertime. I don't think I want to see winter like that anymore. But, snow and cold is good. It's making ice. I've seen a lot of ice fishing pics. My friends who are ice fishermen sending me pictures, and God bless you for getting out there. I mean, it's been a while since you could get out there. Now, Saginaw Bay, by the time you hear this show, I don't know. Some of the local folks who know the Bay very well have been venturing out. I would not advise, if you are coming in from outside the area and do not know the Bay, be careful. I'm not saying it's dangerous out there. I'm not one of those people who says ice is never safe, because of course it is. I'm saying if you're not a local and don't have years of experience out there, just be a little bit careful. Pick your days and maybe go out there with people who do have experience out there on the Bay. Now, the inland lakes, that's a whole different ballgame. Most of the inland lakes have locked up tight. And pike spearing. Oh, I love pike spearing. I love the pike spearing videos. If you have video looking through that big hole in the ice and watching the underwater world, and a gator comes sneaking in there, and you have it on video and you want to share it, I would love to see it, and I would love to post it. I think those videos are very cool. Send me an email to Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. That is the best way, in fact, to get in touch with me, and that's the best way to get me any kind of content. Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. I get a lot of Facebook messages. Eventually, I will see those, but it's not the best way to reach me. Send me an email, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Okay, some dates coming up here. Monday, the 20th. Tickets go on sale for our big Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction. It's our 8th annual event. It will be Saturday, March 1st at the Great Hall in Midland. 8th annual. It's interesting because the way this event started was I had been doing emceeing and auctioneering and speaking at different church groups around the state, often at wild game dinners and usually as fundraisers. And I'm happy to do those, although I have cut back on the number of them. I'm happy to do them. And I got thinking, why am I doing all of these fundraising wild game dinners at different churches, but we're not doing anything at my church, Trinity Monitor? So at a pastor's appreciation dinner at Dixie Dave's restaurant 8 years ago, Lyle Cloa was sitting across the table from me, and he was part of the Athletic Boosters group. And I said, Lyle, I want to pitch this idea to you because I think the Athletic Boosters are the only group that at the time could pull this off. I said, I think we should have a wild game dinner at Trinity. And now 8 years later, it's grown into this very big event. It always sells out. We have great food. We have great fellowship. We have great prizes, a great live auction. On my Facebook page, I have posted a link to get those tickets. And again, it always sells out. That's for the 8th annual Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner and Auction. Saturday, March 1st in Midland at the Great Hall. Next Friday, the 24th, they are drawing the Pure Michigan Hunt winners. I am one of them. There are 3 winners. We don't know who the other 2 are, but I am one of them. So there are room for 2 more of you to win. We will find out who you are on the 24th. I already know that I have won. The problem with me making that statement is, well, I like to put it out in the universe, just kind of put the concept out there so the world can accept it. But honestly, if I ever really did win after saying I was going to win, that would cause, I don't want to say an uproar, but it would get people's attention. So maybe I just better shut up and win the Pure Michigan Hunt quietly. Looking down the road on your calendar, leave Friday, July 25th. X that off. That's the second annual Mike Avery Outdoors charity golf outing to benefit MUCC's youth camp. Personally, I have to admit, I'm looking forward to springtime. I don't have spring fever yet, but I am looking forward to spring. I'm looking forward to turkey hunting. My grandson Trent says he wants to get into turkey hunting. I love turkey hunting. I would love to introduce Trent to turkey hunting this spring. I'm also looking forward to getting the new Angler Quest out on Saginaw Bay and chasing some walleye. I don't have that boat yet. But I'm talking and working with Mr. Angler Quest, QUEST, Brad Dupuis, and I will be running an Angler Quest again this summer. I had a chance to see those boats in person last week at the Ultimate Fishing Show in Novi. I had seen them before. I did a Wednesday Night Live with Brad where we could introduce you to those boats. Very excited about that. Oh, also, if you are looking to turkey hunt this spring and you hunt in one of the limited quota areas and you want to apply ahead of time to make sure you get your tag, January is the time to do that. I don't worry about that because I take Southern Michigan private land, hunt ZZ, and that never sells out. And that I tell you what, if you have access to Southern Michigan private land, ZZ is your hunt because it opens the third weekend in April, whenever the turkey season opens, and it goes right on through May. It's like a 6-week hunt. It's the one to get, in my opinion. Okay, coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show after the break, Jay Wojderski of A Sturgeon for Tomorrow, the Black Lake chapter. He talks about their upcoming Sturgeon Shivaree in a couple of weeks. Looks like they will have ice this year. I want to ask him, look at if you are here to protect sturgeon, and I know I'm playing devil's advocate here. Jay, why are you guys having a sturgeon spearing season? Then Carl Yider of the Yider Insurance Group answers the question that pops up every year. If you take your vehicle on the ice, are you covered by your insurance? Then Marty Saliga, the airborne angler, talks about the service he's offering big water ice anglers. In our second hour, Lewis Good, I stumbled on his videos online. He has Louis Wildlife Cameras, a YouTube channel. He's put up trail cameras across Michigan and come up with some wonderful images. We'll talk about that. Tyler Mihai of MUCC. Sergeant Mike Mashar answers this week's question. Can you put a deer or any animal out of its misery legally if you're not a licensed or a law enforcement officer? And in hour number 3, we're talking Northern Michigan bobcat hunting with Chris Craner. And of course, we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. Busy show. Glad you're with us. My name is Mike Avery. My email address is mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. I'd love to hear from you. All right, my friend, have a good day. I will be back here tonight at 7 o'clock. Not here. I'll be in my home office tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. In the meantime, have a great day and try to stay warm.